You know, 80,000 students becomes 365 with the choral activities office becomes 60 in my choir, becomes like 15 in my section, my one part. And that became like, so like just among your section, you kind of have 15 people that like, you know, you're very like-minded, you sing the same part, you're kind of doing everything together in choir.
Howdy, this is On Air with Student Affairs. I'm your host, Elizabeth Drake, and today we are here with Choral Activities students ahead of the holiday season. So why don't we start off by getting to know each of you guys a little bit and about what brought you to Texas A&M?
I'm Kimberly Boyd, and I am a freshman. I'm in the Bella Voce choir, which is the treble ensemble that we have here for freshmen. And I came to A&M just because of the culture overall, and honestly, it is probably the most fun place. I love all the connections that it has and all the resources that we have here. So it was the only place I applied, and I definitely couldn't see myself anywhere else.
Howdy, I'm Cade Ellis. I'm a freshman engineering major from Kingwood, Texas, and I'm a second-generation Aggie. Both my parents went here and all my parents' siblings, and so it's always been on my radar, and I've been wanting to do engineering for a long time, and so I knew it was a great engineering school. This is not the only place I applied, but it was my top choice of all the colleges I applied to.
Awesome. So how long have you guys been singing?
Since sixth grade. My mom plays the flute, and she was like, "You're gonna do an art, and you're gonna a creative art, and you're gonna like it." And so I chose choir because I didn't want to learn an instrument. And it turns out I liked it, and I was really good at it. And here we are, 8 years later.
What about you?
If you ask my mom, probably longer than I could talk. But fourth grade officially, I joined choir and started doing lessons to sing outside of choir and whatnot. But yeah.
So obviously you guys have been involved in choir for a long time. Coming in to college, did you know you wanted to get involved on campus and with that get involved with chorus?
I mean, I was really excited whenever I heard that there was a choir. It wasn't something that was super publicized before I got here, but during my NSC, I heard about it, and there was a QR code, and I was like, sign me up. And so I just joined, and I did the audition, and then I got in, and I was like, yay. But, yeah.
So choir is such a big part of my life. When I was applying to colleges, I was like, okay, what colleges have choral programs? And I have several friends who are years above me who are in choir, and they told me it was great. And I was like, okay, I'll be in choir here at A&M. And then I heard that my director and Kimberly's director, Heather Orr, got hired to be she's the third director here. She got hired. I was like, okay, now I really have to be in the choirs here because anyone who's anyone in the high school choir world in Texas knows who Heather Orr is. And now she's here. And so that's really, really cool that she directs both of our choirs. I'm in Legacy Voices, which is the freshman mixed choir. So it's guys and girls. She's just such an icon to the entirety of choir in Texas. And now she's here and it's really cool working with her.
Yeah, wow, she sounds incredible. So if you don't know a ton about the choirs on campus, how do you get involved with that? And what are the different courses on campus?
Okay, so there's 2 freshmen right now, 2 choirs that you can join as a freshman. And then there are 3 more that is for sophomores and up. And
yeah, so to brag on A&M's choir program, we have the second largest choral program in the United States behind Brigham Young. And probably 98% of those people are not music majors. So I'm an engineer. What major are you?
I'm a business major.
Yeah, most people are not music majors. There's I don't think anyone in my choir is a music major. And so it's really, really cool that we have this huge program without having music majors.
About how many students are involved with it?
365, we determined yesterday.
Oh, wow, that's
Yes.
awesome. You guys have a huge network of singers. So what does it look like? I know you guys keep mentioning it's freshman choirs. What are next steps once you get to sophomore, junior year?
So we'll re-audition and hopefully get into one of the other 3 choirs, and that would be really fun. So yeah.
Yeah, it should just be there are times where all the choirs combine together or we're rehearsing with some of the other directors. And so we get to know those directors before we're in the choir, which is nice. And then when we audition with them to be in their choirs, it shouldn't be hard. And they know that we sing and then they know that we did good stuff as freshmen. And so it's basically just a formality, at least in my opinion, to re-audition to be in one of the upperclassmen choirs. But
Yeah, so you kind of grow with the program during your time without college.
Yes, it's super cool that the freshman choir is new because they didn't have something specifically for freshmen. So this is kind of a way to get your foot in the door. And so it's super nice comparison to like having to audition for a higher up choir and not really having the opportunity to get in because of the upperclassmen. So this is super nice that the freshman choirs exist now.
Yeah, it sounds like it gave a lot of opportunity to people like you guys who are freshmen to have that opportunity to sing their freshman year. And then also, like you mentioned, get to know some of the other choir directors and the people involved with it. So did you guys have any like preconceived notions going into college about what choir in college looked like?
Yes. I mean, I come from a very large high school, and usually large high schools with like large choir programs they go to festivals and competitions throughout the year. And so in the 2 years I was in my high school's top choir, we went to San Antonio for a madrigal festival is what they're called. And we competed against, 80, 90 other high schools with the same thing. These are like the best singers from their high school. And it's really, really cool because you get to meet all these people and hear all this good music. I was also in a church choir that took audition singers from around the city of Houston. And so like that was also kind of a very intense program, and it was kind of like a window into what college could look like, college choirs could look like. And like as with most things between high school and college, college choirs are like one step above. And so, you get to spend more time just working on music. You're not really working on fundamentals of how to sing, singing technique, how to read music, because there's kind of an understanding that like you're probably coming in to college with those skills already. And so it's just one step more and like more advanced music, more difficult, but it's really, really rewarding, I think.
Yeah. What about you?
So senior year, we actually got to combine with Texas Tech when they were like on a tour. So it was super cool. And we got to learn the music, which was really intense, but I love the intensity of the music and just like trying to do harder stuff. But I knew that it was something that I definitely wanted to do because it was fun and it just challenged me in a way that like choir in high school didn't. I knew there wouldn't be as many competitions, but learning the music and meeting other people that are like-minded and stuff, that was just kind of the whole point of it. So definitely fun.
Yeah, I know you guys both touched on the competitions you did in high school and how that looks differently in college. What does a year look like being in one of these programs in college and competing and performances?
So these choirs are more concert heavy and they don't really compete in any competitions. But I think that might be something they're looking forward into the future for. But right now we're just kind of focusing on our concerts and learning and having fun and just enjoying the moments.
So how do you think it's impacted your freshman year being involved in choir?
I think I've met so many more people, like especially outside my major, because all my classes, I'm with engineering majors, but I'm meeting business majors and education majors and all these other like career paths and people. And so it's like you said earlier, it's kind of, I'm building a network of both like career people, but also friends and like of different backgrounds. And it's really, really cool to see how everyone's like life has been shaped by choir and how like we're continuing to shape each other's lives through choir.
Like he said, honestly, I've met some of the best girls I could ever imagine. They are the sweetest, and it is one like big family and community. It's like a utopia. Me and Miss Orr were talking about this. Like everybody is so kind, and everybody is so like inspired by each other that we just like form this amazing network and community. And it's just, I would not have the friends that I do without it.
Yeah, one thing I love about this podcast is every time we have students on like you guys, everyone seems to end at the end of the day have the same story of how much community they create from their organizations on campus and like all the memories they have. Do you guys think there's any memories in particular that stand out or like a favorite memory from this year?
I think yesterday was pretty cool. So yesterday we had a combined rehearsal and we got the number 365 because all 5 choirs had a combined rehearsal last night. And it was really cool to see like 365 people singing together is really, really cool. Like tear down the house loud. It's just really cool.
So my favorite was honestly the first concert that we did. It was the first time I was ever in such a large like area singing with so many people that were just amazing and talented. Like obviously the people in my high school were talented, but this is like another level. Everybody's so mature sounding and everything. And the first concert was kind of something like I never think I can match because it was just so surreal and everybody was working together and everybody was so happy. And it was just like amazing.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. So what would you say to an incoming student who has these creative passions like you guys have for music, but they're not really sure how to get involved with that once they're in the college setting?
Just because you're not a music major doesn't mean you can't keep making music. I'm obviously not a music major, and like that was never part of my plan to major in music. It was just to keep singing, keep like doing this because it's a really, really good like de-stress for me is like choir. Like after like I do homework, I'm really stressed. Like choir is like de-stress time, and I just get to sing and be happy and not worry about anything else for even if it's like an hour or 30 minutes. It's a great time, and obviously, as we said earlier, A&M doesn't really have a college of music. So, like, especially, like, don't let not being a music major hold you back from being in choir. Just do it because it's fun. And even if, like, we're kind of talking about how a lot of these singers are so experienced, there is no technical experience required. And so if you're like, I don't have anything else to do with my time and I need a credit hour, take choir. You don't have to learn an instrument. You can already sing, theoretically. So I think, like, why not? Just join choir for the fun of it.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds like you're a great example of you can do both. Like you can have your major and those career inspirations, but you can also pursue your other aspirations like choir.
Absolutely. And there's plenty of people in my choir I know that don't have very much experience. I think there's a lot of them with this being their second year in choir. So you really don't have to have experience, like you said. But my advice is just go ahead and audition, and then you get in and you go in. And if you hate it, which you're not going to, you can always drop it. But just go in and find out what it's like and learn about the other people in there because it's going to be amazing and you're not going to regret it.
Yeah, no, never hurts to try. So can you guys tell us a little bit about your upcoming Holiday Spirit of Aggieland concert?
Ooh, I'm so excited because the repertoire is so amazing. We have 2 pieces where we combine, like he said, where we combine with all of them. So we get to sing with the upperclassmen, which is super exciting. And our music is going to be so fun. And there's choreography and dancing and clapping and so much singing. But it's not like Jingle Bells, but it is fun stuff.
Yeah, it's a Christmas concert. Everyone loves Christmas music, and I like. Music means so much to me, and like it's always really nice like going to a Christmas concerts and hearing Christmas music because again, this is like everyone loves Christmas music, and this is good Christmas music, and it's not just like simple 4-part harmonies or like a melody everyone knows. Like yes, there will be like known melodies and known songs, but like we're taking it to the next step. We're doing like really cool, funky versions of them, and I'm really excited for this concert as well.
Yeah, no, and it's especially exciting that it's y'all's first time being in the concert. I'm sure first of many. Is there anything in particular that you're like super excited for? Like is there something you're looking forward to at the concert?
Oh, we have this song called Children Go Where I Send Thee, and it's super powerful the whole time. And it's got the clapping, the stomping, all the choreography. There's a whole rap section where we're like oohing in the background, and somebody's going to take it away, and that somebody will not be me. But I do not know how to rap. And then there's a really cool solo in it, and it's just such a fun song, and everybody gets really into it. So that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
So I love just walls of sound. I love loud music. And so the final song, this is a spoiler, but the final song is all 365, Handel's very famous Hallelujah chorus. And that's a very recognizable melody to everyone when they hear it. And like, it's going to be really cool because there's going to be a lot of people singing it very, very well. And also to brag on some of the other parts of choral activities. There are 2 very, very, very extremely talented accompanists. So these are they mainly play piano for us, and they're accompanying us for all of these songs for all 5 choirs. They're great people. They deserve more, and they're such talented musicians. And choir wouldn't be the same without any pianist, so they're great.
Yeah, well, obviously talked about there's a lot of talent that goes into this, but I'm sure there's a lot of hard work that goes into prepping for a concert like this as well. Can you guys tell us a little bit what the preparation period is like or what it's like rehearsing for shows like this?
So my choir at Legacy Voices, this semester we rehearse twice a week, but I do know next semester we'll rehearse 3 times a week. So Miss Orr is very go, 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 and partially because we have such limited rehearsal time each week. So like, the moment class starts, she's like, good afternoon, like welcome to choir. Let's get started. Here's our, like, she has on the whiteboard or the screen, here's our plan for the day. We're going to do this. We're going to spend this much time doing these things, and we're going to be great, and we're going to have a good time doing it. And so like after each concert, like the next rehearsal would be new music. And so when we get music for the first time, we'll sight read it. So we're just kind of like figuring out what our parts are and going from there and building on it. And each day we're adding like little things, and it just adds and adds and adds. And then once because we only have 2 more rehearsals until our next concert, it becomes like, okay, like it's really, really minute details that like when it all clicks together, it's just beautiful music. And we're all having a good time doing it.
So we have in Bella Voce, we actually have 3 days. So we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then the small group also practices on Mondays extra, but we learn those songs completely just on Mondays and kind of on our own. There's always soundtracks that they send out. So if you're ever struggling on a part, you can work on that. But we have the rehearsals during class time, and then closer to the concert, we normally have a couple of rehearsals, and then the day of, we run through logistics and everything. But it's not too much of a commitment. It's definitely something that if you're wanting to do, it's not going to take time out of other things, but it's something that you can spend time on, and you get what you put into it. So what you put into it is what you receive. So it's definitely fun.
Yeah, making the most of your experience. Yes. So throughout the year, obviously, I know you have your big Christmas concert coming up, but what other opportunities are there for students to come watch you guys?
On December 5th and 6th, which is the 2 days and 1 day before our concert, which is on December 7th at 3:00. Be there, be square. We are doing Christmas caroling. We'll kind of take the whole Choral Activities office, and we'll just split us off into small groups, and we'll be all throughout the city of College Station, the city of Bryan, and on campus. We'll just be Christmas caroling. Like, we'll have a book, and we'll just sing some not hymns. I was going to Christmas carols, some well-known, some unfamiliar, but we'll just, as I keep saying, we just like Christmas caroling means so much more to the singers than I think it means to any audience, because it's just like you're just there having a good time. I keep saying that, but it's true. I'm always having a good time in choir. So.
And the upperclassmen will be at Santa's Wonderland on that Friday, and then it's going to be the underclassmen doing the Saturday, kind of splitting up and going around everywhere, which is going to be so much fun. And we'll just have, like you said, it's just a book of random songs. We probably won't look at it before we go, and then it's just kind of like we'll wing it. But it's going to be so much fun, and we're just going to do the best we can.
Yeah, no, I love how much you guys both talk about your like passion for this art and that you're always doing. I love when you said you're like, I just love it. I'm always happy doing it. So for students who want to get involved in audition at Texas A&M, how can they go about that? I know you guys shared a little bit about finding out through the choir community and at MSC Open House, but what are other ways to find out?
You could always basically just like cold call the directors. So obviously if you're a freshman, I think also it applies to anyone who's like, this is going to be their first year in choir in general. Heather Orr is the person to reach out to. There's also one great thing about the Choral Activities program here is all the choirs have very active Instagram pages, and they're all like, I'm sure there's links there and QR codes and and they're making posts all the time about like, hey, audition. So Miss Orr, if you're a freshman or a first year prospective choral student, but there are other directors like you would probably matriculate into, and you can reach out to them like, hey, what does being in this choir look like? And they'd have more clear answers than I would, because that's their job.
Yeah, so just don't be afraid to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Miss Orr is very, very, very active on all the socials. So go follow Bella Voce Legacy if you are an incoming freshman of some sort. You can always join mid-semester by emailing her or scanning a QR code that circulates somewhere. We are talking about doing Bring a Friend concerts. So when we find out the dates, we probably will send something out about that, where we'll just have guests come in and you can come and sing with us and learn what it's like to be in there for a day.
I know you guys both shared that you have prior choir experience, but is there opportunities to get involved if maybe you don't have as much experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So the preparation process, they send out the music beforehand. So you just learn that. And if you need any help with that, I'm sure you can reach out to anyone. But they'll send out the music. The music's not too terribly difficult. There is a sight reading aspect, which means you have like a piece of music and you don't get to necessarily know how to read it. You just kind of have to it's like reading a book, but it's reading notes on a paper. So it's like a picture book almost. But it's pretty cool. If you've never sight read before, it's definitely something you would be cool to try. YouTube's definitely a great help for that. But just use the prep materials that you're given and then go ahead and study those. And it shouldn't take too long. But as long as you're committed, I think that there's always a reward that comes out of it.
Yeah.
And the directors understand, like, especially if this would be your first year in choir, like, they understand, oh, this person probably may or may not have the best, like, understanding of music, but, like, if they have the drive, if they have the willingness to learn these things, like, they'll accept you and they'll work with you. All these directors are extremely well educated and they come from great colleges with great colleges of music, and, like, they're well known. All these directors are well known. And so I think, like, if you're struggling, reach out to them, reach out to your fellow classmates, and they'll help you with whatever you need help with.
Sounds like a very welcoming community. Could you guys share a little bit more about the community you've made from being involved in choir?
So I know first we have like a bigs and littles situation. We call it majors and minors, where we as freshman girls are paired with the older girls, and it's really fun. I'm going to grab coffee with mine, and I have a twin sister, and she's so much fun. The whole community is really great. I've met some of my best friends there. They are genuinely the most amazing people and the sweetest people. We're working on some more socials for the freshman choirs, but obviously we have the ones that the choir program already has, and we're allowed to go to those if we wanted to, but yeah.
So I don't have this major minor thing, but 80,000 students becomes 365 with the Choral Activities office, becomes 60 in my choir, becomes like 15 in my section, my one part, and that became like, so like just among your section, you kind of have 15 people that, like, you're very like-minded, you sing the same part, you're kind of doing everything together in choir, and then, like, you get to know the people just sitting around you. Like, it became a really stupid joke, but I could not learn the names of the people who sat around me for, like, the first 3 weeks of school because I'm terrible at names. And so, but, like, I eventually learned the names, and now, like, these people who sit around me, like, we're really good friends, and we just kind of, like, we're just, like, talking. Well, we shouldn't be talking, but we do talk all the time in rehearsal. If Miss Orr, if you hear this, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of just like, it can very easily become like a very tight-knit community, just because, like, you're sitting there, and, like, if you're not, like, it just becomes so easy to make friends with these people.
Yeah, so it's so much more than singing. This is like your little families at college.
Yeah, It sounds cheesy, but music is such like a bonding experience, and like sharing the music and working with other people, it's something that, like, if you're not in music, you can't understand. And so, like, singing, using your voices and combining is so much more than just singing.
Yeah. Awesome. So for students who want to come out to your Christmas performance, how can they get tickets?
So tickets for A&M students are free, and the concert is December 7th in the Rudder Auditorium, which is the big one, not the little one. The Rudder Auditorium at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It is a Sunday, but I think it would be a really great break from studying for finals. You just get to go to a concert, get to enjoy some good music, and then go back to your studies after that, feeling very refreshed. On the note of fundraising, there is a poinsettia fundraiser, and so those are the Christmas flowers. And there's a former student who was in choir who owns a nursery, and he donates these flowers, and 100% of the profits go to the Choral Activities office. And so if you want to buy a Christmas flower for your parents and bring it home for Christmas, which I'm sure they would appreciate, you can purchase those poinsettias from the Choral Activities office, and those profits will go help support our musical endeavors.
Yeah.
And shameless plug, go follow the Instagrams from Bella Voce and Legacy, and then also the Choral Activities program. That's where you're going to find the link for the program. So just go follow it and follow the link and go get those tickets.
Yes, like you said, sounds like a great study break from finals.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today to help learn a little bit more about choral activities on campus. Gig 'em.